Hello, hello, hello. We are back streaming some more Eliminator drafts, and this is our first stream post today's episode of So You Think You Can Tout. And as you can tell by the title, didn't go too well for me. But not going to talk about that too much here. I want to save that for my appearance on About the Touts. Talk about it a little bit. Of course, I'll happy to answer any questions that people have as we go through these drafts tonight. But yeah, looks like we're going to be waiting here for a hot second. So I'm going to bring back something that I haven't done in a while, which is my tiers for the remaining contestants. I feel like I've gotten quite a bit of time with these guys now. So I think I have a lot of strong opinions about who I think would be good of these 5 to have a show with Pete, and who would be less good of these 5 to have a show with Pete. So as long as I can make sure that everything is working production side for this, once I make sure that that is correct. So we've got, I'm just putting them all in meh for right now just to take all of the top 5 versus those of the rest of us that did not make it. Alrighty. So I think, and I alluded to this in my X post today, I think this is the person I want to win, and the person I think that is deserved the win so far is Mr. Tyler Emo Cowboy. He hasn't missed a challenge at all. Like, he did great in the debate challenge, was on the winning side of Streamer Schemers, was, we had a great duo video, the two of us. I've really enjoyed working with him. He's been able to turn around a lot of people's heads, I think. And that's something that is really important, is just having these different sides to you. And he's proven that. He's proven his technical skill. He's proven his on-camera ability. I think there's no more well-rounded, like ready to present a show with Pete person than Emo. The downside is he can be a little bit grating at times, and in terms of a prediction to win, I think he can sometimes get on Pete's nerves, which is not good when you're trying to look for the person that you think has the most likely chance of successfully collaborating with Pete. But at the end of the day, I think that talent and vision will win out. And I think that he not only deserves to be number one, I think it would be wild to put anyone else at number one, frankly, just given the body of work that has been shown over this competition. So the next, I think, is going to be a little mini break, and then I'll put, it's probably going to end up being this. Cups, I think, is a slight tier ahead of O'Hara and PPR Tyler, just because I think he's a little bit more defined in his niche, in what he's doing. I think that, oh no. Oh dear Lord. Oh, you can't see this. Oh no. I'm sharing the tab and not the window. That's wild. Is that how that works? All right, let me... Can I... Ooh, I can. I can say share this tab instead. There we go. Okay. Amateur streamer still figuring out how StreamYard works. Sorry. So, for the fact that that didn't make sense, we got Emo Cowboy up top. I think there's a little bit of a tier break than Cups, because I think he has a little bit more of a defined lane. I think congrats to him, first off, on getting to 1,000 subs. That's really great. I think that he deserves it. I've been watching a bit of his content, and it is really informational and has some really good stuff behind it. So I think he's got a great lane regardless. I think that he can have a good specific show with Pete. I think we'll see it more during streamer week. I think he can really improve his stock during streamer week if he can build off of that bash performance with Max and prove that it was not him with someone else who's very into the data and very in the weeds and being able to, negotiate that very easily versus just streaming and being an electric personality. Yeah, so I think that gives him a bit of a step up over O'Hara and PPR Tyler, who I think are very similar in that O'Hara and PPR Tyler are good best ball streamers. Like, O'Hara is definitely more on the data side, PPR Tyler is more on the football ball knowledge side, but they're both good electric personalities. They've been able to really withstand most of the challenges. PPR Tyler's one big misstep notwithstanding. And I think that they're both going to do really well in this next challenge, but I think that I would take Cups or Cowboy over them in terms of actually being able to win the thing. And then Tony. Tony shouldn't have made it out of this episode, in my opinion. I think that Mitch did a better job in both of the challenges this week. And I think Tony's on borrowed time and just hasn't been that good. I thought his most recent challenge was an absolute flop. I do not think he was as dominant in the debates as people thought. I think that he didn't really have great points. Like, he was good at controlling the conversation, but he wasn't good at having cohesive thoughts. And I think that that's something that, especially in this space, the more that you dig deep in and see what's happening with other people, the more that that's going to be shown to be a problem. Especially with Stream Week coming up. I think that it's going to. I think he's going to fall flat on his face, And if he doesn't, good shout to him. But I don't know. I just don't believe it. And I think I'm pretty comfortable with where those guys are at. This is kind of also a reflection on who I want to win. I think there may be some minor shuffling for who I want to win, but I think as someone who has worked with all these guys pretty decently, except for Tony, I think that the people that I would want to work with and the people that you see people wanting to work with are also going to be the people that do well in these sorts of things. So it's just the way it is. But yeah, let me see if I can switch back just to show you we're waiting for 3 for the Eliminator. It's good to see you. Good to see you, Hartman. Yeah, no. I definitely deserved what happened to me this episode. Yeah, that interview with Crack Rock was probably the low light of my time on the show. It was bad. And, when you do bad at a challenge, you go home. And that's just the way it works. But I really did enjoy doing it. I think it spurred me to do a bunch of stuff for this best ball season. It spurred me to be, open and active in the community, to meet a bunch of different people, collaborate on a bunch of different stuff, start up a bunch of different ideas, and, just have a bunch of fun doing it. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting being a spectator now. I can go play some sports bets on the sports book of Rickadoozle, perhaps. Given that one of my bets is out of the competition, I still have a chance on one of my other guys. So, yeah, no, it's going to be good. But I think that we're going to have some great time on doing some more of these Eliminators. I am excited to see with my new schedule that I posted on X, which is I will be streaming most of the time at midnight Eastern Tuesday, midnight midnight Eastern Wednesday and midnight Eastern Saturday. Obviously, with some other shows, some other streams sprinkled in, like randomly I'll pop it on tonight. I know that next week this upcoming Saturday I won't be able to stream because I'm on a trip to Seattle. So I'll find another time to do that. And I'm really excited to work on that sort of stuff. I think they had good feedback for me in the episodes. I think JJ specifically. I don't think a lot of people caught the flip flopping I did at the beginning. I didn't even catch it. He was exactly correct. I was just trying to move the conversation along, and losing my take in the midst of that was a pretty big blunder. I thought before I saw that I was a little bit more indignant about. I thought I did really well at the first end of the challenge, but I can see the difference between doing really well but having a couple of blunders like that and other people who did well in what I might argue were easier circumstances, but didn't have mistakes. You know, making those big mistakes. It's not good. It's just not good. But yeah, we're waiting for 2 more people. Should be able to get this going pretty quickly, I hope. Because I want to draft. I want to draft some Eliminator. Hoping to get 2 in today. Fingers crossed. But yeah, it was interesting. I had Easy Cards talked in the comments of the last stream with me on I think what's changed the most for me in drafting these Eliminators since I started streaming them. And I think just like when you get the reps in, you just sort of have more of a feel for where different players are going to score points and how you can build your teams to exploit that. So that you can build your teams in such a way that you know what you can get later, so you can take other things earlier. Or, in my opinion, at least in the way that the drafts go right now, is you have a lot of options on different ways to get different things later at the running back position. You can get early season points later. You can get late season points later. Like there is options there if you know what you're looking for. So it's more just finding the structure that you feel comfortable with and that you feel maximizes your points throughout the entirety of the season. But you just really don't want to be latching on to players that'll only score early or only score late or, you know, all not score really well in the middle of the season because they have difficult games or difficult bye weeks to deal with. So we start here at the 1.7. 1.7 is not a great spot, especially since I am trying to be out on Jonathan Taylor. So it's looking very likely I'll have to take someone ahead of ADP that I am excited but not ecstatic about. Probably an Amon-Ra or a G&T. More than likely, but you never know. We may get someone falling to us, and we may get someone that takes Ashton G&T at number 3 overall. It's hard. At number 3 overall, that's so much projection onto G&T, and he's a good player in probably a good offense, but he has to be legendary to be worth the 103. Like, absolutely legendary. And I don't think the offense is going to be that good, and I don't think that he's that good. I don't think that he's really going to be giving you the same sorts of seasons as your prime Christian McCaffreys, as Bijan, as Gibbs, at least not yet. And I think that makes it really hard for me to take him all the way up there. Now, back into the first round, very different story, but top 3 pick, that's a rough, I don't know, that's a rough price for me to ever consider paying. So, I don't. It's nice and simple. But yeah, if we're just looking at these guys in the first round, you're expecting all of your first couple round picks. I think the first pick that you're not expecting pretty uniform distribution over the course of the season is your Jeremiah Love. Everyone else here is either front loaded or balanced. Like Gibbs, Bijan, Jeansy, Chase, Nakua, JSN. I guess McCaffrey, you can say, is a bit of a probably earlier season play. You're guessing on average just because possible injuries later in the season. Yeah. But even then, you're expecting him to be the starting running back and really getting points for you the entire year. Same with Taylor, St. Brown, Cook, Lamb, Barkley, Walker, Jefferson, Brown, Henry, and Hampton. All of these guys you're expecting the entire year. SYTYCT says A-Chain. My ranks say A-Chain. Yeah, we'll go A-Chain. I think the Dolphins schedule is an interesting one because if you're taking a look at it, they have a reasonably easy open to the season in terms of defenses they face. Raiders, Niners, Chiefs. Vikings is going to be hard, and then they get Dolphins, Jets. Patriots is going to be hard. Lions, Colts, Bills, Jets again. And then the end of their season is pretty rough in terms of defenses facing the Chargers, the Broncos, the Packers, and the Patriots again. So I think this Dolphins team is not going to be great, but again, you get two matchups against the Jets. You get to play the Bengals, who's probably going to be bad defense. You get to play the Raiders, who are probably going to be bad defense early in the season. You get to play the Niners, who are going to be an up and down defense. So I'm not as worried about the Dolphins tax for the good players on the Dolphins as I think some other people are. We're back here. Yeah, this is always a tough start. Try and figure out how to get out of. We have two early tight end drafters here in the 1 and 2 hole. Oh, this is a lot of people going no RBs through 2. We have 4 people in the draft going no RBs through 2. We have running backs falling in the Eliminator, which is certainly interesting. I mean, if you have a lot of people doing that same strategy, it's not going to be as punishing because they're going to get, your Jeremiah Loves, your Breece Halls, your Javonte Williams, and going to be probably pretty happy with it. I think Enson's the only guy that I would even consider saying might take a receiver just because he has the bye week guys. I mean, if you're going to give me Javonte Williams at the 31 pick, I'm going to take Javonte Williams at the 31 pick. Week 14 bye, we can play all these guys every week. This feels like a great start to me. I feel really happy. I think this is going to be a very comfortable draft. These guys all pick up their first running back. I'm curious if our guy here is going to get Jacobs to fall. He does not. So right as I was saying, yeah, there's like a lot of receivers going off. It's just crank screen again. Absolutely. Running back. And he says, you know what? I don't care. Running backs are for the weak. I feel like this is the style of rooms that I was being told about happened in, BBM2. Where, the first round was half running backs, and this first round is 7 running backs. Of the top 18 picks, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 receivers and 12 running backs in the top 18 picks. This is Boomer. This is fantasy football. So yeah, this guy continues his 0 RB diatribe. Lamb, Jefferson, Olave, McMillan. I mean, it's not a bad team. It's just very worrying at the running back position. My ranks say Lad. SYTYCT says Mike Evans. I'm going Lad. I don't really necessarily I generally like the running back wide receiver correlation without the quarterback. However, I think specifically with McCaffrey being effectively another wide receiver, I'm less into it with specifically his profile. But yeah, this is like we can identify this running back room immediately. This is a running back room that we're going to need extra juice late. Like we're expecting two of these three guys to have, like we're expecting 45 points from these three guys very consistently, probably closer to, if they're all hitting our lineup, 50 points out of the three of them in the early weeks specifically. So when we take running backs, we're not going to be wanting Dylan Sampsons of the world. You know, you're not going to be wanting all these guys that can have some points early, but don't have the spike weeks of these guys. Okay, so maybe it's not quite as bad as BBM2. 9 running backs in round one. At round 9 running backs in round one. I mean, that is pretty close to 12 running backs through 18, but 9 through 12 and 12 through 18. Reasonably close, but that is still absurd. I can't imagine how, like, that's such a different landscape. So it's so strange to me that, you know, we're taking strategies that were developed in ye olden times like that and going, you know what? I'm going to religiously believe this moving forward as well. And that's where I want to be. Interesting. Javonte Jameson goes there. Colston Loveland goes, yeah, I was really hoping that I could get Davante Adams here. Just big touchdown guy. And I see no reason that that's going to change. Oh, dear Lord. Antonio Gibson at pick number 13. At pick 13. Oh, man. I never, yeah, again, I wasn't really around in best ball drafts when Antonio Gibson was someone to be excited about. Like, I remember that must have been, he was on Washington, I think. Like, people make fun of me for not knowing what happened in the relatively recent past. But, yeah, he must have been a Washington player. And just people getting super excited about, because he's got the skill set that people would normally be excited about. No, wait, let me look this up. Let me look this up. Page error when I look up ESPN's Antonio Gibson. Okay, cool. I was correct. He was on Washington, Ron Rivera, back in the olden days. Compared him to CMC. Yeah, okay. Obviously, he's not CMC. But I can see how people get excited about that. Yes, I do remember that Rivera was there because that was when he was the coach of the Super Bowl Panthers when they had Cam and CMC. But back to focusing on the draft. SYTYCT says it's Drake May time. My ranks say it's Tyler Warren time. I don't think it's running back time. I'm going to just lean into my ranks and say it's Tyler Warren time. I feel like we've gotten enough good value in this team at the other positions that I don't need to really, like, I don't need to bolster my running back room with Warren and Ramondre. I think those are the wrong types of bets. Like, if I got a fall on Travion, that'd be the sort of bet that I'd be like, oh, okay, that's a fun fourth running back for this team, and we'd be done and dusted. But Ramondre and Jalen Warren seem wrong in that way. Like, a falling RJ Harvey would also be a good fourth running back on this team. Not quite sure I want to pay sticker price for RJ Harvey, but, you know. He is the right profile to finish out this running back room. Oh my gosh, I forgot that I can do that. You can put your ranks into the Sims. Now, I should do that. Wow. Chat coming up with some good ideas. Thank you very much, Mr. Hartman. I forgot that it could do that. I remember them saying that you can, that ADP is built into the Sims, but if you have ranks, you can put your ranks into the Sims. Okay, now I need to go to my ranks and I need to download the CSV. And then, yep, those are my ranks, in fact. And then I go to the SYTYCT, which is easiest to find. Oh, and then I go to the draft because it's my pick. Trevor Lawrence. My initial thought is Mekhi Lemon. Seems a bit early. Take Herbie. No, it's Dowdle. I don't want it to be Dowdle, but it's Dowdle. I think that's too much of a value. And he is more in the archetype of someone that could hit later in the season with a Jalen Warren issue. But yeah, let's figure this out. So I go in here, upload CSV, the thing I just downloaded. Yeah, I'm not a huge tech guy. Upload failed. What do you mean upload failed? I gave you the CSV straight from Underdog. What do you want, Mr. SYTYCT? Oh my gosh. Let's try this again. Rankings. Uploading. Upload fail. What? Oh dear lord. I wonder if it has something on Legendary Upside on how to upload your own custom rankings into the SYTYCT. If there's something funky I have to do. Can also upload custom rankings. Blah, blah, blah. Upload custom rankings. It just says do it. Wow, that's great. Might have to be when you're not in a draft. Okay, that could be right. Although I think I've seen Pete sort of, or at least last year, he like futzed with the SYTYCT a bunch in between drafts. Let's go Josh Downs. Yeah, I wish I could have the SYTYCT like sim my ranks with exactly like how I think the points are going to be distributed 1 to 17. Like if I was smarter than I am and I had the ability to build a model, that's where I would be really working on, is just sort of giving a week by week projection, even though it's going to be obviously wildly variable. At least have it like somewhat built in the individual game projection and then have it sim out from there to see what sort of teams it would want and how it would like push different things. Obviously, I'm not smart enough to know if that's even possible or how that would work. From the sim side, I'd have to talk to like Cups maybe and be like, hey, just curious, how would you do this? But yeah. That is what I would want out of a sim tool. Okay. Scan ID tab. All that stuff. Does that help? No. Does that help? No. That doesn't work either. Darn. I was wondering if I had to like switch the underdog exposure thing to Eliminator for it to work. That didn't seem to be the problem. So, oh well. I'll try again after the draft to see if it's that thing. where it's because I'm in the draft, it won't let me switch out the ranks. Dog math website. Solver that just sorts ceiling and floor based on draft capital and defensive check. I've never heard of this, not even a little bit. I'm gonna put it on my list of things to look into though. Dog math. Cause yeah, I mean, if that's something that that's something that already exists, I think it's a sort of tool that could work really well for this style of contest. Because that's another thing that people like just are really bad at understanding is like actual ceilings and floors of players, and more accurately, how likely a player is to hit those ceilings or floors. Like it's much more. It's really easy to say, oh, this guy can do this. This guy can do that. Like Trey Tucker can score 40 points because we've seen it. But is Trey Tucker actually significantly more likely than Alec Pierce to score 40 points? I don't know. That I think is something that is a lot harder to figure out and a lot harder to be confident in. All right. So, I think say Jacoby Myers. I think we may just take him. Yeah, I think we just take Jacoby. Despite the buy overlap thing, I'm not. I think he's significantly better than Wandale in a better offense. I think Jacoby's going to be the 2 there. So. Solver on the website is free to use, but you manually enter players. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. That seems like a giant pain in the rear to do, so I can see it being free. If it would automatically do it, that would be, very, very valuable. Yeah, if the overlay comes out, that's going to be interesting. I mean, there's so many people with so many different tools at this point that it's just it's getting saturated. This like tools market, obviously I have the SYTYCT, we have the overlay. I forget what ETR calls theirs. A couple other people doing similar things. It's and you obviously can't use more than one at the same time. Like some of them you can, where they like show slightly different information and they're not like trying to like guide you in directions of picks. But I would assume that using multiple solvers is just so much more of a headache than it's worth. Like obviously I haven't done that, so I can't really confidently be like, yeah, this is awful. This is a terrible thing. But I'm not guessing that it would be great. Same sort of thing as like going and seeing two like coaches for the same thing, where they're gonna like disagree on things, and it's better to follow one person's advice well than to follow two people's advice sort of half-heartedly and be bouncing back and forth. Like that just doesn't help anyone. Okay, the SYTYCT is a lot more comfortable with the state of my quarterback room than I am right now. Like I probably, yeah, I was gonna take Willis if he fell. Now I'm not sure what I want to do. Because I am also, I'm worried about my receivers. I'm worried about my quarterbacks. I'm just worried. Yeah, we'll just take Dobbs. I'm worried about the receiver room. I think Dobbs helps our receiver room more than Darnold helps our quarterback room. Because this is I'd be fine tacking on a third like quarterback in Mendoza with this draft. But yeah, man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Yeah. No, Crack Rock. Crack Rock's. It seems like a cool dude. I don't want to say anything negative about him, but just not the person for me to be interviewing. I I think JJ said it best. I don't really work well with people that have that sort of cadence. Like if you can't tell, I speak pretty darn quickly, and I think it's generally pretty clear when I'm done speaking or I'm transitioning thoughts or something like that, and I connect when I'm speaking most of the time, even through pauses. Or I have pauses in places where it's very clear that I'm going to continue talking. So I'm just not. I was not prepared for that challenge. I think I would have much rather done Rambus. Like even if Rambus was just being an absolute, you know, goofball, just trying to make my life miserable, I think that would have been a better experience than doing the crack rock stuff. Nice guy. Seems like he's very successful, and what was a good person to talk to, but rough draw for me there. Okay, now I think it's Sam Darnold over Daniel Jones. Is it? Yeah, because it's not likely, but it's non-zero. I can get Daniel Jones back, and with just Downs and Warren, we can like really say that that's a nice early season stacking group there, and then just be focusing all of our 14th through 18th round picks on late season upside because and we can have like some more ambitious tight end prospects there, maybe even pile on a fifth, like a last round running back that we're interested in for possible late season stuff. Yeah, no, this is shaking up pretty well. Pretty happy. Yeah, nah, it's huh, tough, tough beats, but I think that uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't like uh, how everything worked out, but you know, this is the way it shakes out. I am excited to talk about it probably tomorrow. I haven't 100% locked this in when I'm going on about the touts. I think it's going to be late tomorrow night. I'm going to wait until Mike gives me a 100% go on that to announce it. But I'm really excited to delve deep into it with him. I'm excited to see when my boy the commish is on there as well. See what his thoughts on how that last elimination challenge were. But yeah, I just got to take Daniel Jones here, even over Omar Cooper. Like I like Omar Cooper for this team. I think he's the right sort of pick, but Daniel Jones just solidifies this quarterback room. Man, this is a very blue team. We got a lot of these Colts. We got blue Devon Acham, blue Rico Daddle, even though he's on Pittsburgh. All the quarterbacks are like some shade of blue. You know, it's funny. Yeah, I think Rambus would have been best for the competition. I think me and Rambus would have been because Pete didn't show this, but I think I can talk about it. Worst thing Pete does to me now is get mad at me. But during like some of the technical issues with Crack Rock, me and Rambus were just like shooting the shit with each other. He talked about like the challenge that he brought for squares. He brought another one for me, and we talked through it while we were waiting for Crack Rock to figure out all of his technical stuff, which was fun. I think that's part of the reason why I'm pretty confident saying that it would have been better for me if I got Rambus because I think that went a lot better than my like official interview with Crack Rock went. And I think that was with Rambus doing his best to be a pain in my ass. So if he relented at all, it would have been, I think, even easier and a little bit of a nicer experience. But that's not what happened. So I can't really complain too much. But I think Gumby would have been cool as well. I think part of the joy of being last is I had a little bit of time to prepare some stuff for this. So, darn. Always would like my boy, Juwan Johnson. Kenyon Sadiq is interesting. We're going to go Travis Hunter here. No, we're not, because we have to go Race. Darn. We'll just go Hunter Henry. We'll just go Hunter Henry. Add to the blue, I guess. Yeah, if I had a little bit more time, I think I may have chosen someone different there. Not sure who, though. Jennings and Hunter weren't right. Tanks Bigby wasn't super right for this team. I like Sadiq's profile, but his bye-week overlap with Warren isn't great. That's maybe something I can plan for in the future. So if I'm wanting more exciting upside in the end of the season at tight end, don't pick Warren or Bowers. Yeah, that's something that's probably I'm able to plan around. So that may not have been my best work. And same thing with Jacoby and Travis Hunter. Like, we've really indexed on early season production here. So I really need to, with these last 4 picks, push up the end of the season work for this team, I fear. Yeah. Nah. I think I want to take some time after my next couple rounds of picks just to look at other people's teams and see if I like how I would, if I drafted that team, how I would feel about my early versus late season stuff, just so I have a little bit more reps on analyzing these teams. So that's something else interesting about these stream drafts is they focus you on the draft a little bit more, but they also focus you very specifically on your team. So getting a little bit out of that, I think at this price I have to take Travis Hunter, even with the maybe negative correlation of him and Myers being at odds with each other. Just because he's useful, he can come on at the end of the season, even if he's playing a bunch of cornerback, just because of injury stuff. So I feel pretty good about that. Yeah, we're done at quarterback. We can have probably go 1-1-1 the rest of the way. More than likely. But I'm not sure. Maybe 1-2-0. This is like right on the edge of a tight end room that I'm comfortable just leaving it to. Like right on the edge. And I think if you've seen me stream a lot, you'll see that I am, if you're getting any of those upper tight ends, I'm pretty comfortable leaving it at 2. Even still, this is right on the edge. Yeah, I have a very clear pick in my head on who I want if he makes it to me. Don't want to. It's not like I'm going to get sniped. I want Stripling. I think he is sort of the mid to late season juice that this team needs at the receiver position. I think he rounds out this room particularly well, with Adams, Downs, and Dobbs all being like more early season plays. So we're going to go ahead and reach down, grab him, pull him up. And then, darn, I would have loved Katron. I think he's a great click to add Yeah, I would have loved both of those guys, actually. Katron and Terrence Ferguson. I think were both good people to come back to me, but they did not, alas. Kind of. So in my like I figured out through the grapevine that someone was coming back. PPR was not really at the top of my mind. I think it's yeah, I was definitely a little bit surprised by that. But I am excited to see what happens with this next streaming week. I think, it's going to be very clear, like in promoted, what these streams are going to look like, and it's going to be exciting for me. Like just probably this first week to be like, oh, I just get to be a viewer and sit back and relax and enjoy and get to freely type my opinions and not have to keep my mouth shut about what I know about this, that, and the other thing, and just get to talk my shit, which is kind of nice. Like I love being able to just talk my shit and not having to not talk about this or not talk about that because people don't know about it yet, and I don't want to spoil things for people. But now that I'm not going to really have any insider information, I can just about all my opinions on everything that I do see, which is kind of nice. Tight end. Oh, that's not looking great. Running back. That's not looking great. So let's just go ahead and grab up another young wide receiver in this room. And then in the last round, we can decide whether we want to go 3-5-8-2 or 3-4-8-3. But I'm not doing another receiver. It's going to be running back or tight end here for the last pick. I don't know. I think they do. Which I think is still strange. But I don't think him being on the bash like lit a fire into the team. We're like, wow, this guy's still here. Like, I think people know who PPR Tyler is. Like, he's good at this and he's got the reps. Like, if this is true, if him being on the bash is what motivated them to bring him back, I think that's a mistake. I think that's it's like double counting NFL like training camp news. It's like double counting when Malik Neighbors is going to be put on the pup. Like, you already knew that. You already knew that he would do great in that environment. So what does you seeing this again actually do for your decision making process? Like, I think that would be a marked mistake if the bash was the reason that they brought him back. I think they brought him back because he had a uncharacteristic single outing and really didn't get a chance to fight for his survival. Like, this was his way of sort of fighting for his survival as someone who went deep into the competition. Everyone else who went pretty deep got a chance to fight for their survival. You know what? Let's go Charlie Kolar. Wow, this is... In addition to being a very blue team, it is very funny that we got 3 white quarterbacks, 3 white tight ends, and our first our first receiver and our first running back are also white. Sometimes these things just happen in a weird, strange way. But I'm pretty happy with this team. This running back room could run out of steam later in the season, but I don't have to worry about that right now. We're going to go ahead and hopefully do one more Eliminator this stream. It could have given them an excuse, but I don't know. Like, do we think that if that didn't happen, like, do we think that Max had a chance of ever coming back on the competition? I don't think so. But it definitely did keep his name in the conversation a bit more. So that could be that's the closest thing that I could see of it happening because of it is because they went, oh, PPR Tyler is still on people's minds in the competition in a way that we didn't think was going to happen. Maybe we bring him back. I could see that happening and not being crazy, but I don't know. Yeah, I think giving all the Toxic Tower members a choice. Although I do have to say, kind of sucks for emo that uh, BBG got this awesome BBG week with Pete that he was tempted with. PPR Tyler got $500 of site credits that he was tempted with, and emo Cowboy was tempted with being a good person. Like come on, man. Like I don't know. Just give him something. Give him a reason to say, you know what, PPR, you know what, Toxic Tower, I'm doing this for me. Give him like, I know this is obviously not in the show's budget, but I think it would be very funny if it was like, you know what, you get an all expenses paid trip for you and your wife to go to Mexico or something. Where it's just like, it was building on each one. You know, something to quiet other parts of life. You know, I think that would have been really funny. Obviously, not possible, but you know, drawing the short end of the stick once again is one Mr. Emo Cowboy. I do need to watch the Tower stream that they did with Goofy Chicken. I'm curious to see how that went post Emo being the savior of the tower or something like that, according to his words. Yeah, budget ran out. Yeah, that's why the episodes are coming out slower now. Is he doesn't have the funds to pay to rush the editing through the process. It's gotta come out slower now. Get that slow burn. But there's only 5 people left, and he said he wanted to be done in what 2 or 3 weeks. So we probably get 2 more episodes. There's like one more cut down final episode, and then we figure out what's going on. I really want to see what people's show ideas are. Like if there's any sort of fan vote or any sort of like input that I might get as a former contestant. Like for me, the only thing I care about at this point, everyone's proven that they're reasonable people. Everyone's proven that they can do this at a reasonable to good level. Great. I want to know what your interesting, defining, unique thing is, and what a show with you and Pete would do to be interesting and specific. And if I get a vote, if I get any sort of sway in that position, like that is going to be my sole factor. Really, is who I think is going to get the best show. Because at the end of the day, that's what everyone who's outside of the competition should care about the most. Is the way I'm going to be seeing this person is in this show with Pete. Who is going to be interesting in a show with Pete? And I think just as much as understanding the person is important for that, it's important to understand the idea and what people want to do. Because if people don't want to do something interesting, or if people don't have an idea of what they want to do, like I said it with my, vote gathering stream against Goofy. In my opinion, that's disqualifying for actually winning the thing. That's part of the reason why I think that Cups and Emo have such a step ahead of the other 3 contestants, is because I think that they have clearer ideas of what their show would be than PPR or O'Hara or Tony Squares. And if I'm wrong about that, my opinion of them changes drastically. But as of right now, like I don't see the vision. I want to see the vision. I just don't yet. So, yeah. Hmm. Now, I was also considering. Oh, while we're doing this, I always forget I have 100 little Dalmatian slows that I can make picks on while we're waiting. How many? Oh my gosh, I have so many drafts I need to make picks on before I get to bed. All right, let's go ahead and start working on that. They're all little Dalmatians, right? Yeah, okay, so I don't need to worry about that. Cool. So, draft number 1. SYTYCT says, Drake May. We started McCaffrey, London, Tootin, Waddle, McBride. SYTYCT says Drake May or Jaden Daniels. Man, this Makai Lemon ring needs to come down. Both with some week 17 correlation, but no stacking partners. You know what? Let me go to completed. Let me go to this exposure. Yeah, my Jaden Daniels exposure versus my Drake May exposure. I want to get those two close together. So let's go Drake May. Not that, $1 drafts are going to meaningfully affect my exposure, but yeah. Yeah, going back to the tout stuff, I think that the film breakdown stuff is good and is interesting, but I feel like there's a lot of that out there, and I mean, maybe I need to look at PPR's stuff more in depth before I say a strong opinion about this. So I'm actually gonna like not pass judgment on this because I haven't looked at his film breakdown stuff because I don't really care about film breakdown stuff. That's just not. It's not content that I have the ability to understand. Even like I'm so far away from being someone who ever played football that I'm worried that I don't that wouldn't even be useful to try and learn to start gaining an edge for me. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's something that would be a good show, but just not for someone like me. So, maybe I think even with getting the bump up for that, I think having all this weirdness around him coming back to the competition, I think still keeps him in like very middle of the pack range going into next week. That is true. It is not something that any of Pete's guests have. So that is very fair. Like he definitely has more data people than X's and O's people. I just maybe that's for a reason. I don't know if Pete's audience would be. I think a lot of Pete's audience are like me, where it's like having this understanding of football X's and O's is not actually going to help our drafting and not actually be something we're interested in watching, despite being good content and good for someone. But maybe I'm wrong about that. I certainly don't know Pete's audience super duper well. So, yeah. Yeah, maybe it's more like Emo's at the top, Cups and PPR are like neck and neck. O'Hara's a little bit beneath them, and Squares is a nice chunk beneath them because again, he just doesn't feel like a good fit. So we're back making picks. I'm shocked it doesn't want. Oh, it does. I see why it doesn't want Jordan Tyson because we already have Olave and Neighbors and McCaffrey with week 8 buys. Like, I may do it anyways. I think it might be fun. Might be interesting. Yeah, we'll do Tyson. How are we doing? 9 out of 12. Oh dear. Yeah, if it doesn't fill by 115, I'm just gonna call it. I know I said that last time, and it went past the time I said, and I did not call it. But this time I promise myself I will go to bed if we don't get it by 115. And yes, I agree. I think this week's challenge will show some weaknesses in Squares' game. But on the flip side, if it doesn't and he rises to the occasion, then it's going to be hard to really argue that he doesn't belong there other than not really having a clear-cut show idea. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know if I've been watching football since 2016. I think that's like right around when I started watching football, the sport, much less even considering or caring about fantasy football. So good on you. Yeah, we don't get a ton of this like Kansas City stack stuff, so we'll go and reach down and take it. There. Oh wow. This is obviously a team that I am just following the top recommendation of the SYTYCT, so I'm going to continue doing that. Like, there's some teams where I'm just like Top Guy Tuesdaying it. So I want to keep that going just to see what the teams look like. So you're telling me Kurt Rambis is not the first person that Pete has bought a computer to be able to stream? That's phenomenally funny. That is that is actually great. Pete, very generous guy. We can see that right now. Very generous, very good at uplifting people. Ooh, we could get Jordan Addison. Just have this like Giga Minnesota thing. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Is it going to suggest to me Trey McBride? Oh, wait. I haven't tried uploading my my ranks now that I'm not in a draft. Darn. It still failed the upload. That's annoying. Probably never. I think that guy legitimately does not like me. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I think this guy has an actual believes for some reason that I am not a good person or does not want to interact with me. But he's entitled to his opinions. But yeah, probably not going to happen unless it's like we meet on some neutral site. But it would certainly be electric if we were able to make it work somehow. Yeah. Nah. Where are we at with the Eliminator? Oh, it's here. I need to find it. Alrighty, we're at the 7 hole. Again. Let's see how similar this draft is to the last one. Wait, nope. We go to the draft. There we go. Already different. None of this astringent at 3 nonsense. We do have other nonsense of Jonathan Taylor at 4. So is it going to be 2 more receivers and then we get to click McCaffrey again? Or are people going to, pull up McCaffrey or pull up GT again? The joy of the Eliminator. Yep. So we have one person pulling up a running back, which allows us to take McCaffrey at the 7 hole for the second straight draft. Certainly not complaining about that. Quite the opposite. Yeah. Nah. Nah. Maybe I need to reach out to Rambus now that I'm out of the competition. Do a little olive branch stream. Seems like he is making the rounds. Going on people's stream, having some fun with that. So maybe it's probably worth an XDM. Although I will say, last time I tried to DM Rambus, it was a disaster to try and get him to respond to me. It was when I needed to change the After Dark times, the first go around, when it was me and Emo and Cups and Rambus going on After Dark, and I needed to switch the times. He was impossible to get a hold of. So yeah, maybe he'll be more receptive now. Maybe he's learned. Maybe he's grown. We'll see. So a bit of a Jefferson fall here. So a guy at 15 gets a Cook Jefferson pairing, which is not too bad. Why does the sidekick hate Kenneth Walker? I don't understand. What is the problem with Kenneth Walker? I don't get it. Are we actually getting the same start verbatim? McCaffrey A-Chain? That would be really funny, I think. Yeah, we are legitimately getting the same 1-2 from the same spot. McCaffrey A-Chain. I'm happy to draft the same team that we drafted last time. That was a good team. So I hope we get to draft it again. Yeah, I mean, this is my read of the situation as well. I think that that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, it's not bad for him to come, have some fun, do his TikTok. I think he might stay with the like TikTok exterminator stuff, but I don't think he's sitting down and doing a bunch of long form stuff regularly. Would be my guess. Not 100% sure, but that would be my guess. But that doesn't mean that it wouldn't be fun to do a little meeting of the minds stream and argue about a bunch of players while doing an Eliminator draft. That wouldn't be interesting. I'm sure it would be interesting. I still think it would be best if it was like, I think something, if we went on like Emo's channel or on Pete's channel, or go with the commish or something, and have like a sort of like Eliminator draft off sort of thing where we like had a bunch of players that we argued about. I think that would be interesting. Would be fun. We are not getting. We did not get the same team because Javonte Williams went at 23. How very sad. Psychic says Rashi Rice here. My ranks say ETN, even though the bye weeks overlap. I think the actual answer is going to be Jacobs. I think we just trust that Jacobs is not suspended and have the same style of team as we did last time, but a very different way. Yeah. Nah. Maybe that's worth an XDM. Write that down, DM Rambus. It's very funny. Rambus is just, I don't know. There's a company named Rambus that my father used to work for, which is it's just wild that Rambus is in a different frame of my mind nowadays. Don't need to dox myself too much, but I don't think it is. It's not a small company, so I don't think it's too bad to say. But yeah, no, I'm hoping that I can now that I'm on StreamYard and can have kind of figured out how to get guests on. I am hopeful that I can reach out to some of my former tout people and some of the people I met, see if I can have them on. I know midnight Eastern is not everyone's cup of tea for starting a draft, so I may have to do some more some other times with other people and leave these as my streaming by myself to the people times. So this is it feels like just a worse version of last draft, where I have to take Josh Jacobs instead of Javonte, and I have to take Mike Evans instead of Vlad because the picks I want to take have been taken earlier. But it's not terrible to take Mike Evans. Certainly prefer him to a week 8 by running back and two other guys that I think are pretty early season focused at running back, and Luther Burden. So yeah, and we do like this is more now we're going into more of a bet on the San Francisco offense in general and specifically that McCaffrey's rushing efficiency improves from whatever the crap he had to deal with last year in terms of rushing efficiency. Like, if he can come back and be good, or come back and be even moderately above average, got to start looking at that scenario playing out. Oh, darn. I didn't go through and do the analysis of the teams from the last draft. Maybe that's something I should do in my own time. I don't think that'd be necessarily an engaging watch. Is to go, oh, okay, I don't know. Let's go and look at this guy's schedule. I think that may just be me sitting down with my teams. Because I think, or I don't know. Yeah, maybe I need to think about that more. Thinking is always the problem. And that's annoying. So I would love to take Travion here as like a sort of late season RB4, but on a team with Jacobs instead of Javonte, that doesn't really work. Yeah, we'll go Christian Watson though. Have that same running back. Receiver correlation. That feels pretty good there. Although, speaking of Centex, I fear I am now no longer able to tout because of my Christian Watson pick. Yes, we do got our boy Hartman at 12. You'd love to see that. Maybe we can talk about his team. Henry, Hampton, Montgomery. Yep, Eliminator S team. Hampton probably a little bit more early season than people are expecting due to the Chargers schedule. So if I was Hartman, I would not be looking at that running back room with any illusions of early season anything. I would just be looking to have it late season. Tyler Warren. Darn. I mean, good pick. I love myself some Tyler Warren. But yeah. So far, good start for our boy in the 12 hole. SYTYCT is all purple, which is in this format is not tight ends. It is quarterbacks. All purple. Okay. Thank you for saving me from myself with the Jadarian Price pick. Do I have a single DJ Moore share? I do not. I do not have a single DJ Moore share. I think I go DJ Moore. If he's not there, I go one of the quarterbacks. Darn. He's not there. I go one of the quarterbacks. I think very clearly the quarterback I want to go is Jaden Daniels here. We already have enough week 11 bye stuff. And these guys are very, very close. So, and I don't have that same exposure problem that I do in normal drafts here in the Eliminator. So, I think that Jaden Daniels is a nice pick here. I do want to make sure I shout out during today's stream both Chad and Emo sending some people my way to be subscribed. Much appreciated. Got up to 60 subscribers now, so that's cool. I think that'll matter more with the pre-recorded content than these streams, because these streams, all I care about is the people coming in, the people that chat. Doesn't really matter how many subscribers I have. But yeah, probably a little bit of both, but I think, and this is kind of a joke and kind of not, playing with Josh Allen can like unwash you, possibly. Like he can be washed and it just doesn't matter because he's playing with Josh Allen, and Josh Allen is that good. I think that is fully within the realm of possibilities. And I think it would also be very difficult for him to not try on the Bills. Although some people would have said that last year about the Bears. So, yeah. Yeah. Can't take Tyson because of bye week. Gosh, this is rough. I have to take Parker Washington. Oh, that's disgusting. Parker Washington is the only click there that really makes sense. Like, Lemon's way ahead of ADP. Like, I might even get Lemon on my next go around. Like, Sutton and Alec Pierce. Actually, Sutton may have been the pick. But even then, Sutton's ADP of 84 versus ADP of 72 for Parker Washington. And I think that Jacksonville's going to be a better offense. And Parker Washington, on average, is like the wide receiver 2.5. Or like, probably not 2.5, like 2.2. And Cortland Sutton, on average, is the wide receiver like 1.8. So it's not that big of a difference. And I don't have to deal with Sean Payton nonsense. So, yeah, I don't like Parker Washington as a player, but this is the team for him for sure. Oh, we got the Sutton and we got the Alec Pierce. So we Hartman. What's going on with Alec Pierce's foot? Does he have a foot yet? I have not been grinding the Indianapolis camp buzz, but I have been very worried about Alec Pierce's start to the season. Very worried. Like, worried enough that I'm effectively not drafting him. Like, he's sort of like Parker Washington, where it's like if it's the like perfect storm of circumstances, I'll click him, I'll pull the trigger, but I don't really want to. Maybe taking Lemon here. Because I have a ban on taking Lemon ahead of ADP, because I like Lemon. I do not like Lemon at like 30 or 35%. But if I'm getting him after ADP, I can at least trick myself into believing that it can be good. Yeah, we'll go Lemon. Spreads out the buys. Puts a little bit more youth in there. I think that's good. Yeah, this Indianapolis stuff is just interesting. Let me see what the latest news is on Alec Pierce. Has not participated in an OTA or minicamp practices. Didn't alleviate. Da-ba-da-ba. Just gonna be smart with him and make sure he's ready to go. That's not great. Yeah, that's not. I mean, it's from the Colts official page, so it's not really helpful. Rehab could last up to 6 months, according to ESPN. When did the surgery happen? Didn't fix the problem. Right after signing his contract. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still really worried. I am worried. Yeah, I mean, if it's August, then this price is reasonable. But if it is anything after August, I think this price is unacceptable. I don't think you can be. Ooh, intriguing. Interesting. You know what, actually? Why not Kenny Gainwell? Why not Kenny Gainwell? I can't think of a good reason why not. So we're going to pull the trigger on Kenny Gainwell. here. Let me go back to the chat. I don't think you can not draft any Colts. Like we're expecting, like this offense is going to be like at least fine. Like I think drafting none of them is probably a mistake. But I definitely I'm definitely choosing my Colts to draft. I'm like I will draft exactly Josh Downs and Tyler Warren sometimes. That's just for me. But yeah, I don't think there's not a team that I'm like I will not draft any players from this team. I mean, and if I had to choose one, it would probably be the Cardinals at cost. I think that it's wild how optimistic we are about the Cardinals offense. Got a nice close up of my face there. Sorry, guys. I think it's wild how optimistic we are in the Cardinals offense for a team that we think is also going to win like 3 games. Like we really think the Cardinals are going to be like the bad Bengals is what they have to be paying off these prices. Like even with like I like Trey McBride, but he just has to do so much at cost. So like I'm trying to tamp down on all of my Cardinals exposures because I've been a little bit too in on them. I mean, except for Michael Wilson, I have plenty of Michael Wilson. I have 0 Michael Wilson, so I don't need any more. But I want to tamp down on, especially on my Trey McBride and Jeremiah Love exposures. Mainly McBride. Another quarterback here is possible. I like Love. I think Love's a better quarterback. I think Mayfield's a better fit for the team. With Kenny Gainwell being like slightly correlated, but not super duper correlated. Yeah, we'll go Baker. And then again, we can either take a third quarterback or not take a third quarterback. I'm fine either way. Take a 5th running back, not take a 5th running back. I'm fine either way. We do need to we need to start pissing. We definitely need to start pissing here. Which I'm sure is a great thing for McNova to come into. I appreciate it, my friend. I really do. I'm very proud of what I did and how the contest went as a whole. I'm excited for what's coming next. But yeah, no, definitely gonna keep grinding over the next couple months, and hopefully next couple of years. But it's been a wild ride. So yeah, it's been fun, and it's definitely been it's been nice to be able to talk to people about it now because I've been sitting on this information for about a week. That this was my last week on the contest, so it is nice to be able to actually talk about it publicly now. Hear people have support. Hear people like be able to analyze the challenge and the responses to it. It's been good. I kind of agree with Mark Andrews here in some ways, but I have so much Shakir. I have so much Shakir. I need to stop taking Shakir. Shakir is not the Band-Aid that fixes all of your teams. Shakir is not the Band-Aid that fixes all of your teams. Like 31% Shakir is unacceptable behavior out of myself. Like the man's got a tightrope surgery. Like he's probably still going to be moderately okay, but I need to stop taking him. Let's see how our friend is doing on the turn. Picked up quarterbacks at the last turn. Very reasonable. In a spot where he needs quarterbacks. Probably, if I was him, I would take some receivers here. Yeah, Higgins is good. Stroud, sure. Yeah, I see the vision. I absolutely see the vision there. SYTYCT, not a cokehead. SYTYCT is not a cokehead at all. Which is interesting. Goddard goes, despite my ranks, it's being a cokehead or likely. SYTYCT says, you need a third quarterback, you idiot. I don't think I like the SYTYCT calling me an idiot. SYTYCT says you need a fifth running back. I don't know. I'm taking Jalen Coker. This wide receiver room, like, I think very clearly needed some bolstering. And he, I think, was the guy to do it. The other consideration would be Sheed. Sheed has the week 11 bye, which I don't want to over-index on. Probably grab some Omar Cooper. Again, Omar Cooper is not the wide receiver bullet that fixes all of my teams. Yeah. No. Especially in this contest, I don't think it's necessary. Like, even if he's a great pick, I don't think it's necessary to click on him. So I don't. And yeah, I don't know. It was. I wish I knew more about Crack Rock because I'd seen him on one stream before I interviewed him, and even just hearing him more, just to hear the cadence of how he speaks, would have been very helpful. Very helpful. But at the end of the day, I think, especially that Crack Rock interview was just not good. I remember logging off of that call, and before I heard anything from anyone else, I was pretty easy to make peace with that. After that being the like elimination thing, like there was no question. That was just awful. And sometimes you just need to sit in it and be like, yeah, I didn't do particularly well there. I think even considering I got dealt a bad hand, I did not do well there. So I think I've said it multiple times. I would much rather go out of the competition because I'm not good enough, because I'm not experienced enough, because I didn't do the challenges right, than feeling like it was somehow out of my control. And I'm very at peace with the fact that I bombed that challenge and I'm going home because of it, and that's okay. SYTYCT and my ranks both say Omar Cooper. I'm starting to get a little fidgety on having this much Omar Cooper. Definitely don't want anyone ahead of him. Let's go Juwan Johnson. I'm also getting a ton of Juwan Johnson. The difference is I'm okay with getting a bunch of Juwan Johnson. Like, I'm okay with Juwan Johnson ending up as a 30%er in my portfolio. I think, especially in this contest format, like, come on. You gotta believe in him. Like that. He's just, I don't know. People just aren't respecting the fact that he might get touchdowns this year. Maybe this year will be different. Maybe I can change him. So we got our boy taking Jalen McMillan and Dalton Schultz. Yeah, I mean, this is shaping up to be a good draft. Gotta click on some more running backs, my friend. At some point. Not right now. You gotta click on some more running backs eventually. I hope. I think it's not a mistake that I have a ton of wide receivers in this of all the wide receivers in this range. Ton of Omar Cooper, ton of Juwan Jennings, ton of Travis Hunter, ton of Deebo Samuel. Not as much Denzel Boston. Ton of Calvin Ridley. You know. Yeah, this is, I think, not surprising and also not a bad thing. Although I will say, now, if you're giving me 10 spots of ADP value on Omar Cooper, I gotta draft him. How could I not? This team needs good production late. He doesn't overlap any buys. He's a first-round rookie. He can be great. Come on. Yeah, my season, especially in the Eliminator, is I'm okay with it hinging on Juwan Johnson, which is, I will say, when I started fantasy football, even I'm sure at points 2 years ago, I would never have imagined that this is something that I'm publicly saying really loudly and really feeling concrete about. But yeah, my season can go the way of Juwan Johnson, and I'm okay with that. Theoretically, yes, I agree with you. In practice, I think, especially that room, would be like a definitional example of this is a running back room that I expect to trail off at the end of the season. Like even starting like week 4, I know that Houston, like the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season, this running back room is going to be great. I know Baltimore has a bunch of easy matchups. Chargers have a bunch of easy matchups. And Houston, I believe, has a couple of easy matchups and one hard one. But starting week 4, I believe that there is, I think it's Chargers Texans. It's either Chargers Texans or Texans Cowboys. Let me check that. Texans week 4 matchup is, sorry, it's against the Cowboys, so it's not that bad. Let's make my pick before I continue yapping. Third quarterback, Mendoza here. Yeah, let's do it. Yes. Going back, Texans schedule starts getting hard around week. Titans is not hard. Jags is not hard. Giants is not hard. Charger like around week 9, which I guess is fine. The Chargers and the Ravens, I guess, that I'm more worried about after the early bits of the season. So, yes, I actually did. I signed. So I'm going back to the Amish theater for Christmas now. I am officially doing that. So I'm excited to actually have a job, not be fully unemployed. So that starts around Halloween, and I have a couple of film callbacks in the area that I'm excited about. That obviously I haven't booked yet, but it's always good when you've got a round or two of callbacks under your belt. Definitely a lot more likely that you're gonna get something. So it's been good the past week in terms of getting callbacks, getting that one contract finalized. So definitely not letting those skills go to waste. And I got the beautiful classes to go to, which is always a lot of fun. Yes, probably true. In bold if he catches the ball. I think, especially at the beginning of the season, they're gonna probably rotate that wide receiver 2 role, like who's 2 and who's the 3, like game by game. Like they're both gonna have probably similar opportunities, and it's just gonna be who steps up in any given game. And I think Wicks has the ability to be really good in those situations. But I think as the year goes on, like Mekhi Lemon is just going to show why he's a first-round pick. Let's go ahead and get that third. Like, I've been wanting to take more Dulcich. Number 1 target in a bad offense, but we want to be taking tight ends where you've got no other real targets, and we've got the only other kind of target in Devon Achane. Like, I think this is the right spot to have Dulcich. So we'll stop at 3 tight ends. We have the 3 quarterbacks. So it's probably going to be 3, 5, 7, 3 here. And I think this room needs a little bit more early season wide receiver production. Cooper's probably going to have Cooper and Lemon are probably going to have roles early season, but probably not be featured more until late. Coker has that week 5 bye that we've got to worry about. Evans is obviously early season production. I think Watson is more early season production. I think Parker Washington is early season production because I think he's going to be intentionally featured more earlier, and then maybe trail off later. So I think we need a little bit more early season stuff. Yes. I don't mean in terms of interchanging roles on the field, just in the fact that Lemon is going to be on the field about as much as Wicks, maybe a little bit less. It's just from a fantasy perspective, who the second best receiver on Philly is, I think, is going to rotate week by week, not who is in that second boundary wide receiver role. Because I think Hollywood Brown was also going to challenge for more of those like deep target sort of things. Holani's not it. I need more early season stuff, and Tyquan Thornton's here. I think we go Tyquan Thornton. Yeah. That seems really simple. I'm again not football knowledgeable enough to know 100%, but I think Brown's small. Hollywood Brown's not small. Sorry, is small, but I don't think he's a slot exclusive guy, just because of like how much downfield work that he's gotten in a bunch of his previous destinations. So I think Lemon's like role is pretty secure as the slot receiver in that team. Like Devonta is going to be outside, Wicks is going to be outside. Like maybe they have some 2 tight end stuff, but all I've been hearing about Stowers and this 2 tight end stuff is that it's not really going to happen a ton in Philly. So yeah, I feel pretty confident that Wicks is going to have a role, but it's probably going to decrease as the season goes on and he, pisses off the head coach by dropping balls. And I think Lemons is going to increase as the season goes on as they want to feature him more in the offense. But yeah. No, I'm just in on Lemon as a first round receiver that I think we're drafting a little bit too late. That doesn't have a ton of downside. Like he's going to be in a good offense. He's going to be at worst the like 2B, and I don't know. I find it very difficult to believe that they're going to be still so run focused in Philly, and not be able to support 2 receivers because they were able to support them. They were even able to support AJ Brown and Devontae Smith perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't really want to take Hollywood. I don't think that Hollywood Brown is going to be much of anything other than a nuisance for the other players, but I definitely am taking Wicks. I just don't think this was the right team for him now that I've already selected Lemon. I think that there are teams for him, absolutely, but was not it. Oh my gosh, I get sniped on DJ Gittens. I was not going to take DJ Gittens, but it is very funny. I think this is just Katron Allen. I'm curious, can I get down low enough? Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to have a super, super deep Katron exposure, but yeah. That is perfectly fine. Another good team, I think. I think it's actually just worked out pretty darn well. So there we go. And then let's do a final accounting of Hartman's team from the 12 hole. Ended up with 5 running backs, getting Sean Tucker and Braylon Allen in there. Perfect. Those are exactly the types of running backs you want to be getting with this early room, where it's like Allen can, with a Hall injury, can just score a bunch of points, but they're all going to be later. And Tucker just has that spike week upside, and you already have some Tampa Bay receiver power, so that you're hoping that goes well together. I think that's great. 2 tight ends being Warren and Schultz, definitely right on the edge, but I like it. Quarterbacks look good. Receivers, I don't believe that Brandon Ayuk is playing another down of football, but I was going to say who is like really certain in this last range to be playing another down of football. Like Tyreek Hill, Zachariah Branch. Like I don't know. Probably wouldn't be what I would do, but I can see in this format where it's like if he does play another down of football, he suddenly becomes really reasonable here. Mooney's good early season value. Like this sort of allows Alec Pierce to be a late season hammer, hopefully. Definitely the position of most want in the build, but I think pretty darn decent build overall. I don't like I understand the team. I don't like it though. I just like player take wise, I just don't like Sutton. I don't like Pierce at cost. I don't like Ayuk at any cost. I don't like Jalen McMillan really at cost. I don't like Higgins at cost. So it's like I like the structure. I don't like the players. So that's where we are. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I just want to say again, I'll probably be on About the Touts tomorrow. The current plan is to be pretty late, and I would be coming on here to stream right after that. So it may be a little bit early, a little bit late, depending on how long the So You Think the About the Touts episode goes, and everything else in life. But it'll be probably right around 9 p.m. And yeah, thanks so much. I will probably be keeping this title for the next week. Don't have to think as much. But we're going to keep on drafting these Eliminators. And, have a great night, guys.